they are politically incorrect. If flop yenza uJuju, the problem. Good Nyamuza, he said the borders gate must be removed. Obviously, they are going to flock to South Africa, all of them, because in South Africa, here is stylish, here is fruitful and productive. You go to other countries, you can see the difference when you come from South Africa. You know where I come from. It's not like this. Yeah. Other countries are still behind.
African countries.
Yes, irrespective. They had Abu Idi Amin dictatorship, one man, one vote. What? The one man, one vote thing, it has caused sanctions. About KFC, it's new things now. Ngeke Swaziland. Dananyana. Ngathola bashaya ipizza self-made. Angeke uyidle. One bite enough. Yakuqaphela. Ama sanctions. Angeke basinabo dibonez. Asali izingamla ispider web sengamla. But put yourself in the shoes of Nelson Mandela. Kuze kanjani agree to this democracy. Not the basis of Fana Nabo Zimbabwe. Whereby we have to create our own paraffin. We have to create our own everything, one man, one vote. But it was a good idea. Ukuthi nje asikwazi thina ukuyicontrol. Thina those who have to continue abojuju so. Abayenzi continuation right politically. Everyone is flocking to our country. And when they flock into our country, the resources of the country were never been implemented to satisfy the mass that we see. That is why our resources are vandalized. That's why you'll see there's water everywhere. That is why they will occupy the empty stand that were reserved for our young people to have fun, to play, or just for the breeze. It's not every place, every space that is supposed to be occupied.
Yeah.
Oh, we need a space just for breeze.
Yeah.
And then the worst part, these people, abalandela le movement yakhe, it's for only one purpose. It's only for sleeping, for making babies. At least it was for building economy. Yeah. How do you build an economy? By creating a village. A village that doesn't have a toilet that is flushing. You are taking us back to a bucket system. And then after we say we are eradicating poverty. We are promoting poverty. In my street, when you come down, there was no bucket toilet. This is a suburb. We're paying the same rates at Sandton. That's why when you offer it's written Malboro Drive, Sandton. We're paying the same rates.
Yeah.
Why this thing doesn't happen in a suburb? Why this village doesn't happen next to his house in Sandton, Rosebank, or in Mr. Smith's neighboring? Why it happens in a black community? We are creating.
Julius Malema is wrong to call for open borders when it comes to the South Africa and its relationship with immigration. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow South Africans, welcome back to Izwi Labansundu, the voice for Africans. Today we are discussing a very serious and emotional issue affecting millions of people across South Africa. The issue of immigration, borders, unemployment, crime, and national sovereignty. Now, before we begin, let me make one thing very clear. This discussion is not about hatred. It is not about attacking foreign nationals. It is not about violence. It is not about xenophobia. Every African deserves dignity and respect. But at the same time, every country also has a right to protect its borders, its economy, its jobs, and its citizens. And that is why today we are going to discuss why I believe that Julius Malema is wrong to call for open borders in South Africa. Because while the idea may sound revolutionary and pan-African on paper, the reality on the ground tells a very different story. Open borders sound good in theory. Now, many people support the idea of African unity, including myself. And honestly speaking, there's nothing wrong with that. Africa has suffered from colonialism. Africa has suffered from division. Africa has suffered from exploitation by Western powers. So when leaders like Julius Malema speak about removing borders and allowing Africans to move freely across the continent, many young people become inspired. They see it as true African liberation. But the question we must ask ourselves is this: can South Africa realistically afford open borders under current economic conditions? And the answer for many struggling South Africans is a resounding no. Because theories and slogans do not feed hungry people. Let's not lie to each other. South Africa is already under pressure. South Africa is facing one of the worst unemployment crises in the world. Millions of young South Africans cannot find jobs. Graduates are sitting at home. Families are struggling to survive. Communities are drowning in poverty. Crime is rising. Service delivery is collapsing. Hospitals are overcrowded. Schools are under pressure. Municipalities are failing. And now imagine adding completely uncontrolled migration into an already collapsing system. What do you think will happen? The pressure becomes even worse. And ordinary citizens become frustrated, right? South Africans are not crazy. One thing politicians must stop doing is dismissing the frustrations of ordinary people. When communities complain about overcrowded clinics, when unemployed youth complain about lack of opportunities, when small businesses complain about unfair competition, when residents complain about undocumented foreigners involved in criminal syndicates, that frustration should not automatically be labeled as xenophobia. Sometimes people are simply crying out because the system is failing them. Now, yes, there are criminals among South Africans too, absolutely. Crime is not committed only by foreigners. But we also cannot pretend that porous borders make it easier for dangerous criminal networks to operate. Drug trafficking, human trafficking, illegal firearms, counterfeit goods, right? Cash in transit syndicates. Many of these operations take advantage of weak border control. And that is the truth. A country without borders is not a country. Every sovereign state in the world protects its borders. America protects its borders. China protects its borders. Russia protects its borders. European countries protect their borders. Even African countries themselves protect their borders. So why should South Africa be expected to become a borderless state? That is the contradiction many people see in Julius Malema's argument. Because no serious government can survive without proper immigration systems. Borders are not automatic, right? Borders are not automatically evil. Borders help countries manage population, right? National security, employment systems, healthcare systems, taxi system, housing demand, infrastructure planning. Without control, chaos eventually follows. The ANC government created this crisis. Now let us also be honest about something else. The ANC government has failed to properly manage immigration for years. This is why emotions are now exploding in communities. The government failed to secure borders. The government failed to modernize immigration systems. The government failed to deport illegal criminals efficiently. The government failed to create enough jobs for South Africans. And because of this failure, ordinary citizens are now directing anger at foreign nationals. This situation could have been avoided with proper governance. Right? Pan-Africanism must also be practical. I know some people say, but Africans are one people. Yes, spiritual and historically, Africans are connected. But governance requires practicality. You cannot preach open borders in a country where youth unemployment is above crisis levels. You cannot preach unrestricted migration while public hospitals are collapsing. You cannot preach borderlessness while citizens themselves are struggling to survive. That is not leadership. That becomes political romanticism disconnected from reality. Real leadership balances compassion with responsibility. Even Africans themselves protect their countries. Let us be honest again. Try illegally entering many African countries today. You will quickly discover that immigration laws are taken very seriously. Some countries immediately deport undocumented migrants. Some countries require proof of income. Some countries require work permits. Some countries are extremely strict on residence. So why should South Africans alone be expected to carry the burden for the entire continent? This is not sustainable. South Africa cannot become the economic refuge of Africa while its own citizens remain trapped in poverty. This issue must not divide Africans. Now let us say this carefully. Foreign nationals are not enemies. Many foreigners came to South Africa legally. Many are hardworking. Many contribute positively to the economy. Many own businesses. Many are law-abiding citizens. And they also deserve protection from violence and hatred. But supporting proper border control does not mean hating foreigners. A country can respect immigrants while still enforcing immigration laws. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. Unfortunately, politicians sometimes oversimplify this debate. If you support stronger borders, they call you xenophobic. If you question immigration policy, they accuse of hatred. But that shuts down honest discussion. And South Africans deserve honest discussion. Malema may be playing politics. Some critics believe Julius Malema uses radical pan-African language for political branding, of course, because slogans about open borders sound revolutionary to certain audiences. But implementing such policies in reality will create massive instability. Leadership is not about saying things that sound emotionally powerful. Leadership is about protecting citizens while maintaining social stability. And many South Africans feel that open border rhetoric ignores the daily suffering of ordinary people. South Africa needs controlled immigration. South Africa does not need hatred. South Africa does not need mob justice. South Africa does not need xenophobic violence. But South Africa does need secure borders, efficient immigration systems, proper documentation processes, stronger law enforcement, economic growth, job creation, better regional cooperation. That is the balanced situation, not emotional slogans. African unity should start with strong economies. Thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Debs Kosana. The name of the platform is Izula Bansundu, the voice for Africans. Kama Kuma Africa.